So, what are lymphocytes? It's kind of a trick question. What are lymphocytes?
Those are.
They're found in the lymph.
Lymph.
They're going to be your B cells and T cells because they're found in lymph nodes, right? What is an APC? What does it do?
It's an antigen presenting cell.
Antigen presenting cell, and it can be a B cell, a macrophage, any kind of cell, right? Who does it present to?
Helper
Helper
T
T
cells.
cells.
What does it present?
The antigens.
Antigens, right? Or a virus or something like that, right? This is so, do you guys missed the best teaming session ever, huh? But then what do T helper cells do?
Send
cytokines.
They send out cytokines, which are the commands, right? And what are cytokines? What are they?
interleukin 1.
Chemical messages, right? It's just a chemical message, like interleukin, whatever. There's a bunch of different names, like thousands of different interleukins, all that kind of stuff. But we just want to know cytokines. What do cytokines do? They talk to two guys.
B cells and
B
cytokines.
cells and cytotoxic T cells, right? What do cytotoxic T cells do?
They divide.
They divide into killer T cells, right? And then they go and kill the things, right? So MHC, well, what is MHC?
Yeah.
Receptor protein, right? It's a major there's always a random question on the test that says like, what does MHC stand for? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like your first test last semester or
It
whatever.
was like
what?
camp.
Yeah. Just-
Didn't learn
I
that till
don't know if it's like your test, but it
Yeah.
just stands for major histocompatibility.
That probably
It
would
is
be
on the
good to
test?
know.
I don't know if it is or not. I'm
You
just
never
saying.
know.
I don't want to put the test and you guys are like,
Histo-
Tim never told us that. I'm like, I don't know.
That camp one, we didn't learn until the end of the semester.
Yeah, the like last
Yeah,
minute.
I thought that was way unfair too. But I was like,
Stupid.
but just in case, I don't know. I feel like the more prepared you are, the better, right?
Just don't humble us.
That question.
So-
Just because
Alright,
it's
so I
between MHC1 and
I studied
MHC2.
the wrong
If I was
There
you,
you go, I
I would
thought
just know
that
that
too.
MHC1 is APC to T helper, and then
Here's the first
MHC2 is just like the normal
Yeah,
cells
very first
to
question.
the cytotoxic
I
T
was like,
cells.
I
Yeah.
studied the
So
wrong
MHC1
module.
what?
Something's
MHC1
wrong.
is APC to T helpers, and then you need to know that
Wait, what did you say?
MHC1 is the communication between an APC and a T helper, like on that graph. And just so,
Was it 2 or
Isn't that
1?
like 2?
I think
Yeah.
it's 2.
Yeah.
is it? Okay, I'm excited.
It's 2.
Sorry.
I was like, I think it's 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely screwing you guys up.
What's
Okay.
MHC1 then?
He has a picture. Yeah.
MHC1 is the nucleus.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is just MHC1 is just your normal body cells
Yeah.
to the killer T cells or cytotoxic T cells. MHC2 is APC to T helper cells.
So what do your MHCs do again? They're just like in your body?
There's the communication means. It's immune communication between
Oh,
leukocytes.
Okay.
So between white blood cells.
They process the antigen. Like, they take it off and then
Kind
make your
of.
cell can recognize it.
Not really. Not really. No.
So when they get
They
infected,
just send out a little like peptide nuclei that has like a flag that says, "Hey, this is what I am. I'm infected or I'm not infected."
okay.
But
So
this
when it
guy
gets
says like
infected,
S
does
for
it die?
self.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
says like, "Oh, I have a virus in me, kill me."
Okay, so it dies.
Yeah, it's just like having like a string and a cup between the leukocytes, and they just say, "Hey, I'm infected or not." It's just communicating. That's all it's for.
And I'm guessing you make new ones if they die. Like if they get a
MHCs?
virus, yeah. Make new
Well,
ones.
they're part of the cell, and so if there's a virus in the cell, then the T cells will go and kill it, and the MHC dies with it.
Okay.
But each cell has their own MHC.
Right.
That's all it is.
And if they get mutated, then that can cause an autoimmune disease, can't it?
Yep.
That's what vitiligo is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what a lot of autoimmune diseases are. Like even like HIV is the T helper cells get infected with a virus, and they aren't able to send out like those cytokines and stuff like that, right? And so like if you have, think about this, like if you have it, so T helper cells right here talk with cytokines to these guys, B cells and T cells. But remember like how up here you can have a virus cell that can talk directly to a cytotoxic T cell, right? Remember that? And when it does this way, it's not going the APC route, okay? So there's no cytokines released at all, because it's going straight to these guys and saying, "Hey, I'm infected, come kill me." That happens, it only releases a very small like platoon of soldiers to come up. Okay, a very small battalion to come up and then start attacking that MHC marker, whatever it was. But the cytokines do what? Yeah, it's like pouring gas on a fire and it makes it a lot. So then if it goes the APC route, if an APC gets a virus in it and then it goes to this guy and then talks cytokines, then this will actually come up here and it'll release a whole army. This releases like thousands of T cells. And so then you can actually fight off an infection, right? So if you don't really use cytokines and you have a pretty good infection, you're not able to fight it off. Does that make sense? So what HIV does is it's actually a virus that attaches to this guy and it actually screws it up, and so it's going to ruin up its MHCs. It's not going to be able to communicate with the APC at all, and it's not going to be. And so basically, it starts to attack these guys and starts to take them out. And so those MHC2s talking to the APCs, they're getting these antigens. They're saying, "Hey, we're infected," and they're like, "We don't care. We don't know what that means. We're a virus now, and we're just killing ourselves, right?" So without that, you aren't able to get this army response. So that's why like HIV doesn't kill you, but like the common cold can kill you and stuff like that, right? And so the marker on these guys is actually called CD4. That's their like marker on them. And so that your CD4 count on like your blood, if someone has HIV, normally it'd say it's around 10,000. Is like in me and you. Their CD4 count will decrease with HIV. Does that make sense? Because they're being destroyed. And so when it gets down to like 2,000, it's considered AIDS. And that's the point where you have like full-blown AIDS. That's how they say HIV converts into that. And that's just after a while, we'll eventually die and you will get AIDS if you have HIV. At that point, you can't fight off infections. Does that make sense? So if there's a question on that, it's kind of how like you're just applying that knowledge. Is that good? Right? And like any autoimmune disease is like type 1 diabetes. If this MHC marker in your pancreas and your beta cells, if your MHC1s over here are displaying that saying like, hey, they're displaying some kind of like if they're infected, they're getting mutated, and then these guys are going around finding things that are mutated or finding things that are bad, not normal. Oh, that's not normal. I'm supposed to kill it. It's not normal. But that's actually your pancreas that's producing insulin, and now you're diabetic, right? Does that make sense? There's nothing you can do about it. It's just happens.